go a little bit longer with this meeting, but I still don't have my speech figured out. So what I'm going to do today is tell you something that I learned that I found useful about 2 weeks ago. Has anyone here got some kind of social media account? No? Or if you don't, maybe yourself, do you have kids who have social media accounts? Or family members? Well, for years, I have kids who are now 12, almost 13, and 15, going to be 16 in August. And neither of them is particularly social media savvy. However, my son, I guess, gets on Vine, which I know very little about. We went to a presentation at his high school. There was a session led by an FBI agent who investigates cybercrime. And he gave a really compelling talk. He actually planned to speak for a full hour and discovered that these are sessions that were 15 minutes, so he really compressed it down. But I wanted to impart to you some of the things that I learned from that presentation. For me, internet safety was a term like family values. Like for the longest time, even as a kid, I thought, what does that mean, family values? I mean, we all have families and we probably have as many different values as there are families. So it didn't tell me very much. Internet safety is about like that too, for me, as a kid, or as a parent of a young kid. I thought, what does that mean? I mean, you're not going to just post certain information or bullying, cyberbullying, maybe that's what they're talking about. But what he explained was what kinds of things that he investigates and how to protect ourselves. So he said, how many of you have media accounts? And there are actually only about 4 of us in the room at that particular session. And I felt sorry that I didn't have my daughter there to hear some of this information. But I went home and I told her all about it. He started by putting up a picture of somebody's Facebook page. And there's a girl, in this case, it was a girl, and you know, where she goes to school. You know how like maybe on your Facebook page you say where you work. But a kid may say where they go to school. They list a lot of their friends, and you know, of course, with Facebook anyway, it's first name, last name usually, not aliases or anything, and lots of photos. And a lot of people, especially younger people, are very excited about how many people follow them, and how many friends they have. But if you think about, and at my daughter's school they did this, they had a presentation where they said, okay, I'm going to pick 5 people from the audience. So 5 of the student body got up on the stage and they said, how many of you are Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat? You know, how many of you are friends with these people? Stand up. Okay, how many of you are friends with somebody who just stood up? So pretty quick you had the whole room standing up with just 5 people to start with. The point being that you don't, once you put something up, you don't have control over where it's going. Because you have the people that you choose as friends, and you may have certain security settings, and you need to take a look at what your security settings are. Who can see what you've put up? But people will post these pictures. Younger people might say where they go to school. So you might have some kind of internet predator that's thinking like, and he was very funny about how he put this. He said, you know, that they think, hey, I want to talk to that person. And they go, well, I know where they go to school. I'm not going to hang out around outside their house because their parents might see me, but I can hang around outside the school and I can strike up a conversation. I know what you're into because you already said you do softball, you do this, you know, I can strike up a conversation. He goes, I don't know maybe what I want to talk to you about because I'm a creepy person, but I can shop around and figure out what I can talk to you about, and I can seem familiar with you or your school or your friends or whatever. So that lowers that barrier, and you maybe then trust this person. He actually leads sessions with students at schools, and he looked up one of the people that he was going to have in one of his classes, and he found out what kinds of things she does for fun. And so she came into the room with other students, and he said, hey, you look kind of familiar. Amber, right? Yeah, it's Amber. Play softball? You know, he's trying to figure out, like, you know, that I know you from somewhere thing, right? He was doing that. He's like, you play softball, right? She said, yeah. Elk Grove? Yeah. He goes, I umpire for Elk Grove softball. And she's going, oh, okay, you know, and like, I recognize you now. So they chat and this goes on for about half an hour throughout the class, and then at the end of it he goes, I've never umpired a softball game in my life. You know, but he convinced her that he knew her. So he was demonstrating that, hey, you think you know, and your little voice will tell you, but don't be so sure. There was a picture that somebody had posted of, like, happy kid just having passed the driver's license test. So they had their temporary license, like, you know, this picture. What they just give me, he says, and it's name, address, all kinds of information on this temporary license. A lot of times women will post, my own sister does this with her name, and then as her middle name, it's her maiden name, and then her last name. He said, what did you just give people? You gave your kid's mother's maiden name, you know? So that's a standard security question. But name and birth date is enough to mimic somebody. So he didn't do it in a way that freaked me out, but it made me think. There's a lot of stuff that we put out there. So his parting words were, what are you putting out there? Who's going to see it? And it's not just the people that you think will see it. It may be more people. And is that a good idea? And for the kids, he made the point, he said, your parents maybe seem strict sometimes about social media. He said, but if a little kid walked in this room with a fork and said, I'm going to stick this in the light socket, he goes, you all have enough life experience to say that's not a good idea, right? He goes, we need to realize that as teenagers, sometimes we're the kid with the fork. So he made the point very well to the students who were in the room that you think you know, but you may not, and even to the parents who go, well, I know I want my kids to be internet safe, but I don't know what that means. I have a way better idea, and I did spend a lot of time talking to my kids about it. So hopefully you learned a little something today, and go check your internet settings on your Facebook or your social media accounts and just see who might see what's out there. So anyway, good luck and be safe.